Alright, so what in the hell am I up to today? Well, doing some modifications to the three-wheeler. Like the antlers. Yeah, we're going to fix the ignition. So, as you can see, I have the ignition all torn apart right now. Let me show you. Now, this was redneck modified to accept the screwdriver key, and that's the way I've been using it for a really long time. But I noticed the connection started getting loose, and my redneck repair started to fail. So I had this old computer friggin' power supply, and I just robbed the toggle switch out of it, and I figured might as well, it's just, look at this thing. It's totally custom. Might as well go ahead and wire in a toggle switch. So I'm going to show y'all what exactly it takes to troubleshoot and hook up your switch. Now, the original reason I modified this to use a screwdriver was because it did not have the key, and I just wanted to get it running. I didn't want to have a key made or go buy a new ignition. So what I did was I just took this metal part out, knocked out the tumblers, and put everything back together with zip ties and glue, and then I was able to use a screwdriver to turn it off and on. But as I said earlier, the glue started to break down. You can see right there, and the connection just got loose. So this is the plate that this rotating cylinder makes the connections on. And out of all, how many are there? 6, 7? There's 7 contacts there. Only 2 of them make the ignition, make the neutral light turn on and allow the engine to be turned over. So after a little bit of troubleshooting, and I actually blew the fuse doing this, you go around and around, and you touch contacts until your neutral light turns on, assuming your bike's in neutral, or your headlight or whatever, or if it turns over. And on this particular ignition, it happens to be this, let me see, it's this red wire right here and this black wire. So these 2 connections right here need to be connected to complete the circuit. So now I'll demonstrate that. As I said earlier, I blew the fuse by randomly touching contacts on here. So I'm just going to jumper this fuse to show y'all what I mean. Now, on this toggle switch that's on, we're going to hook up these 2 leads onto the plate. This is going to be really tricky one-handed. Okay, so right there are my 2 contacts, and as you can see, neutral light is on. And I'm going to flick the switch and turn it off. It's off. So basically what I'm getting at is to bypass one of these ignitions. All you have to do is, what I'm going to do is splice this switch into this red and black wire. What I'm going to do is cut it, I'd say about right there. So if I do want to splice it back together and use an ignition, I can easily do that. I'm not just going to cut it off right here, down to the nub. It just makes it easier in the future if you want to splice it back. If you cut it here, you can always solder it back on, but I find it easier just to splice shit. Alright, so I got my ignition wires cut and stripped. So you can see that good old 80s copper. So now we're going to get this switch, which I got in my pocket. Oh yeah, I'm barefoot too. And I'm going to get some little splicing nipples. Got them over here. Wire connectors. Use these and hook them up. Electrical tape them. Kind of dusty. And we're good to go. Well, and there we go. We got this switch from that crappy old power supply, and we've spliced it into the ignition. We use these coupling nipples, and I wrapped everything up nice. That don't look too bad. Well, if that ain't redneck, I don't know what is. And it even works too. Watch. Now what I'm going to do is make up a little piece of plate, cut a square hole in it for this, and mount it right back on the original dash. And there's the finished product. Looks like factory. Just use some plastic cement. It's still setting up, that's why it's so shiny. But getting everything, painted this Honda decal red. So we'll put that back on in a few. Got the battery charging. Yep, that is a sock in my earbox. I don't know what that was doing in there. So yeah, I hope maybe you learned something. That's one way to bypass your ignition if you don't have a key. Just get yourself a switch out of something and hook her up. So if you enjoyed the video, please rate, comment, and subscribe. It's appreciated.